the monument that stands facing the church. K0MIK is the call sign of the OMIC Amateur Radio Association, an international organization that is the largest predominantly black amateur radio association in the U.S. The activation will be primarily on 40, 20, 17, and 15 meters using CW sideband plus via satellites. Tom Gaines, KB5FHK, told Newsline that anyone living in or visiting the Birmingham area on those days is welcome to stop by the activation, which is also a part of OMIC's ongoing POTA Challenge. There's still time to get early bird admittance if you're attending the Radio Society of Great Britain's annual convention, as we hear from Jeremy Boot, G4 in JH.
If you haven't already booked your attendance at the Radio Society of Great Britain's convention next month, you still have a few days to take advantage of early bird pricing. Convention organizers have extended the deadline for special pricing to the 14th of September. Although experts will be presenting on a variety of topics from RF electrical interference to radio astronomy, the keynote speaker is certain to draw most of the attention. He is Colonel John Doody, a retired officer of the UK Royal Corps of Signals. He'll share his vast knowledge on cryptography, cybersecurity, and information assurance. The convention will take place at Kent Hill Park Conference Centre in Milton Keynes from the 13th to the 15th of October. Additional details are available at rsgb.org/convention. I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Hams with disabilities who have received encouragement and training through the Courage Handyham program have something to celebrate this month, and Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, tells us why.
For 56 years, the Courage Handyham program has worked with people who have disabilities, encouraging them to work toward their goal of becoming a licensed radio amateur. The special event call signs W0ZSW and W0EQO will be on the air Monday, September the 11th, in a 5-hour special event QSO party that is part of this year's Handyham Radio Camp. The operators will be marking the program's 56th anniversary by calling QRZ using CW and SSB on 10, 15, 20, and 40 meters. The hours of the QSO party will be from 1600 to 2100 UTC. The call sign W0ZSW was originally assigned to Rochester, Minnesota amateur Ned Carman, who helped bring the Handyham program into being based on his work in a clinic with individuals who had severe physical disabilities. The call sign W0EQO is assigned to the program's Camp Courage North station, which was originally used by the first Handyham station that provided remote HF access to amateurs who had no other way of getting on the air. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the WW8GM repeater of the General Motors Amateur Radio Club in Detroit, Michigan on Saturdays at 9 p.m. local time. The first class of young participants in a program based at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory are advancing as hams. CellMB KB3TZD has those details.
The program, known as Exploring the Electromagnetic Spectrum with Amateur Radio, has inspired its first group of young participants to explore something else following 20 weeks of instruction at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory. They're planning to upgrade their technician licenses to general. They are also joining various amateur radio clubs as well as the ARRL and engaging with a virtual amateur radio club on Discord. The observatory launched this 2-year program for high school and college-age students with a grant from Amateur Radio Digital Communications to provide an educational outreach to members of the Indigenous, people of color, and LGBTQIA communities. The observatory is preparing to receive its next group of students, a total of 18 participants from across the United States. As with the first group, those running the program are hoping the curriculum with its hands-on activities can be the entry point for many of the students toward later careers in the STEM fields. And of course, a window into the rewards of being an amateur radio operator. This is CellMB KB3TZD.
In Europe, an amateur radio activation is honoring the legacy of a once popular British pirate broadcast station. Jeremy Boot, G4NGH, brings us that story.
Long before the British pirates' broadcast station Radio Caroline took to the airwaves from a boat off the Essex coast, there was Radio Luxembourg. Much to the displeasure of the BBC, the English-language service was launched 90 years ago and became one of Europe's most popular stations. According to some reports, the long and medium-wave broadcast of its programmes and its British presenters peaked at an estimated 78 million daily listeners before Radio Luxembourg went off the air in December of 1991. Since July, amateur radio operators and shortwave listeners are hearing Radio Luxembourg again, this time symbolically with a call sign LX90 RTL. The station is on the air until the end of this year. Various ham radio operators throughout Luxembourg are calling QRZ to mark the anniversary of that first broadcast. They can be heard on the HF bands using CWSSB and the digital modes. They can also be contacted via satellite. The special event radio operators have been carefully listening to, especially when the QSOs trigger moments of nostalgia. The operators write on the station's page on QRZ.com, quote, "Many of you told us about your memories of the great time listening to Radio Luxembourg, especially the great entertainment with the best music on the air over the years," end quote. The DARC Bureau will confirm all QSOs automatically, and logs are being uploaded to Club Log, Logbook of the World, and EQSL. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
If you have expertise in engineering, technology, or other areas relevant to radio, there may be a seat for you on an FCC advisory body. Interested? Patrick Clark, K8TAC, explains how to apply.
If you work in broadcasting or have a background in science, engineering, or technology, you may be interested in becoming a member of the FCC's Technological Advisory Council. The TAC provides guidance to the Commission and looks into issues that could have an impact on emerging technologies. The Council's input is expected to help in the creation of informed policies. Members will be expected to be able to weigh in on such concerns as spectrum sharing techniques, 5G, and artificial intelligence. The term lasts 2 years, and there are 4 council meetings a year, which are one-day sessions. For other details or to submit a nomination, send an email to tac@fcc.gov. Nominations are received until the 22nd of September. The Council expects to meet in December. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
The inaugural Invictus Games were held in Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park in London in 2014 as an international celebration of wounded members of the military, marking a triumph over their various challenges. This year, the games are taking place in the German city of Dusseldorf, co-hosted by the German Federal Armed Forces. As veterans and serving members of the military compete in archery, cycling, powerlifting, swimming, and other activities, amateur radio is also playing a big role in the arena. As the games enter their second week, special event station DQ23IVG continues to be on the air, making contact to celebrate this triumph of the human spirit. More than 500 competitors have arrived from 21 nations and are competing in disciplines. To recognize their achievements, hams are calling QRZ until the 16th of September. QRZ.com for additional information. In the world of DX, listen for Torsten DL4APJ and Udo DL2AQI operating as MD/DL4APJ and MD/DL2AQI respectively from the Isle of Man, IOTA number EU116 on the 10th through the 19th of September. They will operate using CW sideband and the digital modes on 80 through 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for Randall, KD8JN/4, operating from Hatteras Island, IOTA number NA067, from the 10th to the 15th of September. He will be using CW and sideband on or around the usual IOTA frequencies, QSL via his home call. Be listening for a team of radio operators from the Rebel DX group who are using the call sign T22T from Tuvalu, IOTA number OC015, from the 21st of September to the 9th of October. The team will be on 160 through 6 meters using sideband and FT8, either in normal or Foxhound mode. Visit the QRZ.com page for T22T for further details. This week's final story looks at something we cannot see. But of course, we're going to look at it anyway. Here's Ralph Scolacci, KK6, ITB.
There is beauty in the unseen. Ask any ham radio operator who has sent voice, code, or data into space with the hope that its path finds a receptive, friendly destination. It never fails to engage your imagination when the message arrives, undetected by the unassisted eye. In the U.S., the roadmap of the FCC's frequency allocations is always evolving. One of its most recent printed versions has captivated a New York City ham radio operator, John Keegan, KE3GAN. Early this year, John wrote about a large, colorful poster on his blog, Beautiful Public Data, and called this roadmap, quote, a crazy, beautiful chart, end quote. Indeed, the multicolored poster is a painter's palette of the unseen spectrum from 9 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz. The multicolored poster is produced by the National Telecommunications Information Administration, which, together with the FCC, manages radio frequency assignments for different users. Among them, aviation, broadcast, satellite, and ham radio. The U.S. government printing office sells it for $6 in is also among U.S. lawmakers who pass regulations that affect the spectrum and need to better understand its uses. The latest version of this chart, produced in 2016, expected to be due for an update soon, according to an NTI specialist who spoke with John. Changes in technology, it's possible that these many colors of the frequency allocation chart may change again. And like the spectrum itself, it will surely be in ways that are, as yet, unseen. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
If you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in, send it on. We're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Ham Fest or field day participation, but something that is out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at newsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we would like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. Meanwhile, visit our website to learn more about the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Use the entry form on our website and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second line, and 5 in the third. With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, Ambarish Nag Biswas VU2 JFA, Beautiful Public Data Blog, Courage Handy Ham, CQ Magazine, David BR, K7DB, 425DX News, FCC, Forbes, Jimmy Earl, WB5MET, NASA, the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, Radio Society of Great Britain, Radio.World, Retail Insight Network, ShortwaveRadio.de, Space.com, The Street, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9VPG in Union, Kentucky, saying 7-3. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023. All rights reserved.
W8WKY. Time out.
W8WKY.
The weekly Serenette, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe starts in 5 minutes. Get ready for the weekly SaraNet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Sarah and friends. CQ, this is W8WKY calling CQ for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net. I bet you expected Javen or maybe some of you expected Nick. Nah, not going to happen tonight. I'm Gary, and my personal call is Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra, and I'll be your net control this evening using the club call, W8WKY. That's when I can remember. We meet on this repeater every Tuesday night at the most palatable hour of 8 p.m., and we encourage all amateurs to participate. This is Controlled Net. Please direct traffic through net control. And as always, priority or emergency traffic may break into this net at any time. Let's see. Tonight, we will take in and out traffic first, followed by a round of regular check-ins. And I think I might be able to rustle up a trivia question for everyone tonight. But before we get started, just a couple of announcements. Okay, let's start off with this. I am very, very happy to announce that we have put together, or we're in the process of putting together, a live interactive webcast to sponsor Scott Yonley, N8SY, for his bid to become the director of the ARRL Great Lakes Division. The date of this interactive webcast will be Tuesday, September 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can go to our website, w8wky.org, and right on the homepage is a very nice picture of Scott. As a matter of fact, I never knew he could look that good, but boy, he certainly does. And there's also links to his flyer and also his campaign site if you want more information. And after you evaluate that, you can ask him your own personal questions at this live interactive webcast. The webcast details will be announced here shortly, but please mark the date on the calendar, September 19th, 6 p.m., and spread the word. Let the other nets that you participate in, let everybody know. We're throwing this open to anybody that can turn their computer on and participate in an interactive program. Scott will talk about his qualifications, his vision for the future of the ARRL, and most importantly, he will answer your questions. More details will be forthcoming, but please spread the word. Let's get a whole bunch of people out to participate in this event. Okay, and the annual Sarah Family Picnic will be, guess what, this Sunday, September 17th, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. We're going to eat at 2. This year, we are moving from the Silvercreek Park to the Wadsworth Eagles in Wadsworth, Ohio, at their shelter right outside their building. The main course of burgers, hot dogs, and some kind of sausage will be provided. Sarah members are asked to bring a side dish to share, and if you want something special to drink other than water, bring drinks yourself and your family. The meal will begin promptly at 2 p.m. And again, it'll be at the Wadsworth Eagles at 9953 Rittman Road in Wadsworth. And as with all of our announcements, this stuff is posted on our website. So make sure you check that out at w8wky.org. And I think that's all I have this evening. Does anyone else have any announcements for the good of the cause? Please give me a call.
This is WO3X with an announcement.
WO3X. Go ahead. This is W8WKY.
W8WKY, this is W03X. Okay, late tomorrow afternoon, 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. is the CFARC to the field, that's CTTF. So go to www.cfarc.org, and now there's a green bar across the top. Click on CTTF, which is inside a little rectangle there, and then look at the activations, and then go to the entities and choose an entity that has not been activated, and then start to operate. Go to that entity, set up, and operate starting at 4:30. You can also just operate from home. Valid contacts are home to park, park to park, and park to home. And if anybody makes 5 valid contacts or more, when they send in their log, they will be entered into a drawing for a $50 DX Engineering gift certificate. With that, back to the net. This is W03X.
All right, W03X, AA8CS. All right, John, thank you for that. I got you down. I'm sure you're going to stick around for the trivia question, so you are in the log. And thanks for the announcement. That sounds like a very, very fine business event. And I would appreciate it if you would announce the Evening with Scott Yonley interactive webcast on the Cuyahoga Falls nets as well, and I would appreciate that, John. All right, anybody else? Any other announcements tonight for the good of the cause? Give me a call. All right, hearing nothing, I do want to thank Russ, KD8 VY. I want to thank Russ Orr, KD8 VYT, there we go, I got it, for his work and putting together the Take Me Out to the Ball Game event. It was pretty cool, I understand, and I was told everyone had a fabulous time, and the fireworks were tremendous. So, all that being said, thank you, Russ. All right, as I mentioned, we'll do in and out traffic first, followed by a round of regular check-ins. When checking in, please give me your call sign, your name, and your location. At this time, I'll take in and out traffic for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net. Please call W8WKY.
W8KY, this is KD8, Kilo Delta 8, Glenn and Wadsworth.
Whiskey 8, Victor, Mike Whiskey, Jim in Barberton.
AB8OU, Zeke, Coventry.
Kilo Delta 8, Echo Papa Charlie, KD8 EPC, Dustin and Medina, in and out.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, Carry it, Portage Lakes, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Kilo Oscar, K8QKO, and Naked Akron, in and out.
Whiskey Delta 8, Lima Alpha, Neon Brewster. Good evening, everybody. I'll be in and out.
W8TB, Jeff and Wadsworth, in and out. Kilo Echo 8, Tango Lima Bravo, Randy and Ribbon, KE8 DLB. I'll be in and out, 73.
Kilo Echo 8, Victor Zulu Alpha, Eric in Strongsville, KE8 VZA, in and out tonight, 73.
All right, thank you for that. Here's who I picked up, W03X. at the top of the list there, John. KD8, oh no, I got you. You're going to be part of the regular stuff, but you're at the top of the list anyway. We have KD8 KDA, WD8 VMW, AB8OU, KD8 EPC, W8CTM, KE8 QKO, KD8 LLA, W8TB, KE8 TLB, and KE8 VZA. That's our in and out traffic so far. Any else? Or are there any corrections or additions? Come now.
Kilo Delta 8, Kilo Alpha Uniform, Glenn and Wadsworth, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, India Mike Echo, David, Sterling, Ohio, in and out.
N8WS, Bill in New London, in and out.
Okay, KD8XA, U, I believe, or that could be V. Can you come back and re-identify? I'm sorry, I can't read my own writing.
KD8, KAU, Kilo Delta 8, Kilo Alpha Uniform, Glenn and Wadsworth, if that's who you're looking for. In and out.
All right, Glenn. Yeah, thank you for that. Couldn't read my own writing. My hand amped up, as a matter of fact, and it looked really awful. Anyway, thanks for coming back. Thanks for your patience. And remember, if I don't screw up a couple calls, at least it's not me doing the net. All right, KD8. Kilo Alpha Uniform. We also have KE8 IME and N8WS. Last call for in and out traffic. If you would like to be in and out tonight, give me a call.
This is N8EI, Jason in Norton. I was going to be regular, but I've got to look into something else. So, in and out, good evening all.
All right, N8EI, we have you in the log, Jason, and I do want to thank you for all the work that you are doing and will be doing on the live interactive webcast for Scott Yonley. I appreciate it, and I'm sure Scott does as well. All right, that is the bottom of the in and out list. We'll take regular check-ins for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net. Give me a call.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Delta 8, Sierra Lima Golf, KD8 SLG, Nick and Orville.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Echo 8, Victor Quebec X-Ray, KE8 VQX, Joe in Akron.
KE8 QFT, Fred in Medina.
Kilo Echo 8, Uniform India Bravo, KE8 UIB, John in Massillon.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Golf 4, Sierra Charlie Kilo, KG4SCK, Copley.
Delta Papa KC8 HDP Jerry in Shreve.
King Charles 8 Fox Queen Victor Aurora Lights KC8 FQV Mark Aurora Lights.
Kilo Alpha 8 Mike November Tango, Tom in Canton.
right, here's who we have. As I mentioned before, WO3X is at the top of the list. KD8SLG, KE8VQX, KE8QFT, KE8UIB. John, I need to talk to you, so I hope that well, I'm sure your phone number is current in the roster, so expect a call from me probably tomorrow sometime. I know you're working and stuff. We also have KG4SCK, KC8HDP. Gee, yeah, there was quite the collision with Jerry there. So hopefully we'll get a couple more in here. That was KC8HDP, KC8FQV Mark. That would be Aurora Mark. And KA8MNT. Good evening, Tom. All right, who did I miss or anybody else?
EOX, Scott, Vermillion, in and out.
Give me their Gary NT8D.
Whiskey 2, Juliet Lima, Sierra, W2, JLS, John and Phil.
Okay, we picked up KE8VOX in T8D, W2JLS. Good evening, John. How you doing? Stand by, we'll get right to you here. Let's make one more call for regular check-ins. One more call, regular check-ins. Come on down.
KE8QFT, Fred in Medina.
All right. Yeah, Fred, I got you in there. I got you, way up the list there. Okay. Trivia question time. Not that I'm a master, I'm not even close, but the master of trivia is busy tonight doing some work down at I think at the fair, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I want to say good evening to Eric. I'm sure he's at least listening. I do know he's busy. Okay, here's the trivia question. Common household device was originally created for NASA's Skylab space station. Your choices are Alpha, LED bulbs, Beta, smoke detectors, Charlie, microwave ovens, Delta, mercury-free thermometers. I'll repeat it. What common household device was originally created for NASA's Skylab space station? Alpha, LED bulbs. Beta, smoke detectors. Charlie, microwave ovens. Delta, mercury-free thermometers. And there you have it. Let's go to the top, WO3X. Good evening, John. Again, thanks for the announcement this evening. And what do you have for us this evening?
Okay, well, good evening. This is WO3X. One other item I forgot to mention was that there is a volunteer exam session this coming Thursday. Test starts at 6:30, so arrive a little early. It's at the Cuyahoga Falls Library, and you can sign up for that. You have to pre-register, so go to www.cfarc.org and then click on the word education up the top, and that will take you to a page where there's other education items, including a new technician license class, and find the register for an exam. and click on the one for September 14th. And make sure you have your FRN. Let's see here. On this trivia question. Not sure. I think I'm going to go with, well, let me think about this for a little bit here. Let's see. I think I'm going to go with, let's see, we have a lot of good items there. I think I'm going to go with the B Bravo smoke detectors. So with that, back to the net, W8WKY, this is W03X.
W03X, W8KY. All right, John, thanks for that. That's down for Bravo. And VE session coming up, CFARC Club. Check out the CFARC webpage for more details. You must pre-register. Okay, let's move on. We'll clear with W03X. Pick up KD8SLG. Good evening. Boy, I want to say good morning. Good evening, Nick. How's things and what's happening in your world? And just think, you could be doing this right now.
W8WKY, this is KD. Good evening, Gary, and all of the club netizens in here tonight. Let's see, let's go straight with trivia. That's my phone. Delta. I'm going to go with Delta. And I have a thermometer joke, but maybe later. I have to deliver tonight's haiku. You beat me to it with the announcements, but hey, here it goes. Family picnic, Eagles Airy in Wadsworth. We'll see you Sunday. So there's this week's haiku. So we've got that down. I wore shoes with laces for the first time in 9 weeks yesterday. So that brings me joy. I'm now able to tie my shoes. This is a big deal. That's all I got tonight. One more thing. Yeah, Friday morning, don't listen for Gary. I'll be on the barometer net in his stead since he's here for me tonight. Thank you, Gary. 7-3 all. KD8SLG back to net control.
All right, Nick, thank you for that. KD8SLG, W8WKY. Actually, Nick was supposed to be here for Javen, who is out and about running out of time, but some logistics going on. Don't expect me in the morning either. I'm sorry. Let me think about this now. Boy, I do have to think about this. I think I'm picking up, I'll be here. I'll be at Barometer Net Wednesday morning. Yeah, that's me. And then Fred's going to do Thursday. So, yeah, a little bit of shuffling the deck here, but that should be fun. Okay, we'll clear with Nick, KD8SLG, and let's pick up KE8VQX. Good evening, Joe. What do you have for us?
W8WKY.
W8WKY, this is KE8VQX. Hello, Gary, and everyone else in the group. Nice to hear everyone again. Not much going on here. My NFED half-wave is working great, at least as far as I know. Having a lot of fun with it. Anyway, as far as the trivia question goes, me and a friend of mine have decided that it's going to be A. Alpha LED lights. Don't remember those way back then. So anyway, that's all we got. So hopefully everyone has a nice night, and thanks again for doing the net tonight, Gary. With that, AA8CS, this is KE8VQX. Bat to net control, 73, everybody.
Certainly my pleasure to do the net tonight, Joe. I appreciate you being here, that's for sure. I have you down for letter A, and just enjoy and just kick back and there's all kinds of banter going on, so you'll enjoy it, I think. Anyway, we'll clear with VQX. And Fred, you're up. KEAQFT. This is WAWKY. What do you have for us?
Hello there, everybody in the greater Medina area and the lesser Brunswick area. I hope no one from Brunswick's listening. I don't mean it. As far as the trivia, gee, I don't know, you know. I'm almost tempted to say microwave, but I really don't. I don't know, but you mentioned LED bulbs, and man, you remember the big push a few years ago to get them curly cube type bulbs? I don't even see them anymore. That whole thing didn't last long, did it? Remember the electric company wanted to send you a couple of bulbs and charge you like $7 for a piece or something. Anyhow, that whole kick just kind of faded out, having nothing at all to do with the subject at hand. But one time I had a bulb out, one new curly cure or curl type things, you know, and I took the light fixture out, and this bulb had actually like disintegrated. It was into like a powdery mass, you know, and I said, no. I said, heck with this. I'm going to put the old-fashioned, not eco-friendly type of bulb in there, you know, and, oh, well, enough of that. With nothing really to contribute of any worth, I return to net control. KAQFT, back to net control.
KAQFT, WAWKY. Okay, Fred, did you say microwaves? Is that where you're going? That would be distractor C. Over.
Yeah, I'm going to say C. I've got a bathroom up here near the radio, and the cat's in the toilet bowl, drinking out of the toilet bowl. Believe it or not, I give the cat water. Oh, I'll say the microwave. What the heck? Back to net control.
All right, Fred. Well, you know what? Maybe it's just a tad bit more flavorful for Puss in Boots there. So we'll... That just cracks me up. All right. We have you down for C, Fred, and thank you for that answer, by the way. We have the first 4 answers. We have all the distractors taken, so very cool. Very cool. All right, we'll clear with KE8QFT, and let's pick up KE8UIB. Good evening, John. How you doing? Let me just say off the top, we're going to have this Barometer Net T-shirt contest, and I would like for your company to do the T-shirts this time around, and see what we can do. We're going to have our apparel sale coming up here in a shortly, and we would like to see how things work out. So anyway, that's the reason for my wanting to speak with you. But just so, I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary. But anyway, thanks for being here, John. And what do you have for us this evening? KE8UIB, WAWKY.
AACS from KE8UIB. Oh, good evening, Gary, and everybody out there on the net. And yes, Gary, my phone number should actually be correct on the roster. So unless for some reason I typed something wrong, and I really doubt that. So I think the wife actually had double-checked me on that. So she usually helps me set that stuff up to make sure there is no error. Hi. But I hope everybody's out there doing good, and it's been a busy week, and it's been a busy week so so far. We were out running around tonight, and just now getting dinner in the oven, sitting here chiming in on the net and watching the cats and dogs go crazy. But with that, pretty good evening. Now, on a second note, let me get this out the way. Trivia question. I'll take D, Delta. So, it's a really good question. So, I'll go with D, that's for sure. And then, let me get this straight, Gary. So, you're doing the net tonight, and you're running the net in the morning at the ungodly hour of 7 a.m. Is this correct?
I know, it sounds absurd, doesn't it? But yeah, you nailed it. Absolutely. So I'll be on my game in the morning, maybe. Back to you.
Awesome. Good times for sure. With that, everybody, you guys know I love to live a $5 dream, a nickel at a time. This is KE8UIB. I'm going to hand this back over to Net Control 7-3, y'all.
All right, John, you keep living that $5 dream, a nickel at a time. There you have it. All right, got you down for. Thanks for being here, and you'll hear from me here shortly. We'll clear with KE8UIB. And moving right down the list here, we'll pick up KG4SCK. Good evening, Mark. Do you have an answer on the trivia question, and what else do you have for us this evening?
Hello, W8WKY and Gary and Sarah Club. Wow, Gary, either my hearing's getting better or your hailing on the announcement starting out is getting louder. You must have one heck of a isolation sound booth. I mean, I think if you went QRP, I could hear you from here. Hi. Anyway, the answer to the trivia questions, I thought I heard you say Skylab. That's pretty old. Maybe it's just my thinking. LED, no, I think that was after. Smoke detectors, I'm hoping before. Microwave, I thought, was during some space exploration, but there was an old trivia question where some guy had a chocolate bar melt in his pocket because of something like microwaves. So I'm going to go with Delta. No mercury thermometers. I think mercury floating around in the Skylab or ISS would be a very bad thing. This is KG4SCK, back to Net Control. Thanks for having me, Gary.
Okay, Mark. Well, you know, your hearing is not nearly as bad as mine. Did you say microwave oven? Go ahead again, please.
Yes, sir. I'm going to go with no mercury thermometers.
All right, got you down for letter D, and thank you for that response, and appreciate you being here, Mark. Join us tomorrow for the barometer net. You normally do, so I'll be your master of ceremony, turning the dials. And Fred will be back for me on Thursday, and then Nick's going to pick up Friday. So that's the lineup for this part of the week. And I don't know, maybe I don't need a radio or an antenna. I'll just shout. I don't know if I'm louder or not. I did turn the power up. When I'm net control, I like having a little bit of extra oomph. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. But good to hear you this evening, Mark. Thanks for stopping by. And have a fabulous Tuesday night, whatever is left of it anyway. Okay, we'll clear with SCK, and let's head down south. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? KC8HDP. This is W8WKY. Good evening.
Well, good evening, Gary, and good evening to everyone on the net. Great to hear everyone this evening. Trivia question. Boy, I'm really torn between A and B. A would, reduce power consumption would be a good thing, and you definitely don't want to fire in space. So well, it wouldn't be in space B, but inside your protected area where, so, well, I guess I'll go with Bravo for the trivia question, smoke detectors. Looking forward to the Sarah picnic this weekend. Hope to see everyone there, and should be a great time. Don't have anything else for the net, so I'm going to send it back to you, Gary. W8WKY and the net from KC8HDP 73.
KC8HDP, W8WKY. All right, Jerry. Thank you for being here, and thanks for the answer to the trivia question there. We appreciate it. Appreciate your presence, and really, really good to have you on board this evening. And again, I check into Annette. Midst of the chaos of the fender bender that happened when you were checking in, guess who I got? Yeah, you guessed it. All right, we'll clear with HDP, and let's go up to Aurora and pick up KC8FQV. Good evening, Mark. How are you?
Well, good evening, Gary, and everyone else on the net. Well, I was trying to think. The thermometer, I can't really see the LED bulb. Because, if that was developed back then, why wouldn't we have been using them a lot earlier? So, the microwave wasn't. I can't recall the other item. But, I know the thermometer, the microwave, the LED bulb. I can't recall the fourth item that I haven't mentioned. But maybe you'll come back and just mention it. I'll have to grab one of them. But I remember the curly bulbs. The curly bulbs are just a fluorescent bulb. They're real short in a curlicue, like curlicue frights. And I remember during the summer when we would be at the school changing lights out, they would change them out. We put them in a 55-gallon drum. They had 3 or 4 barrels. Take them out to the compactor, stack them on the compactor, turn the switch, and run. Because there would be a big plume of smoke, a big plume of white powder come as the compactor was chopping them up. Well, it only took one swipe of that thing, and they started dropping down in and breaking up. Yeah, and the curlicue bulbs, yeah, they had a short-lived life. We're into LEDs now. But I think the mercury thermometer, I want to go with that one. So we'll send it back to the net, Gary, KC8FQV.
KC8FQV, W8WKY. All right, Mark, down for Delta, that's mercury-free thermometers. So, yeah, that's not a bad choice, I would say. And let's see, I was going to say something else. Oh, those curlicue, yeah, no, those things were ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They definitely had a short life in my house because I threw them out. So there you have it. Oh, man. Okay, we'll clear with FQV, and let's pick up Tom, KA8MNT. Good evening, Tom. What do you have for us?
W8WKY, this is KA8MNT. Good evening, Gary. Nice to hear you tonight, and everybody else that's on the net. Well, let's get the trivia out of the way. I'm going to go with alpha. We're going to go with LED bulbs. No reason. Just figured that might be it. Nothing else going on around here. Usually I give a critter report in the morning, but just to let everybody know, the critters are in bed sleeping right now. So I think they've got the only ones that have any common sense. sometimes. So who knows about that anymore? Anyhow, we're going to say, we're going to turn it back over to the net and say 7 3s, K88MNT, back to the net.
I have you down for Alpha. Nice choice. And, yeah, it's good to be here. That'll, on the Tuesday Night Net, I like doing this. We do have a team, basically every other month for most of us, except for substitutions and that type of thing. Next month, WA8KOC will be turning the dials on the Tuesday night Saranet. So tune in next week as well, and you'll have Fred online there. Okay, Tom, good to hear you, and maybe we'll hear you tomorrow on the Barometer Net, huh? Maybe. I bet we do. Anyway, we'll clear with KA8MNT. Let's go to KE8VOX. Good evening, Scott. What do you think the trivia question answer might be?
Good evening, everyone. It's KE8VOX. Thanks for getting me in, Gary. And I'm going to go with C, Charlie, for the trivia. And that's all I got. Sending it back to the net.
KE8VOX, W8WKY. Scott, thanks for stopping by and saying hello. We appreciate that. We'll listen for you tomorrow morning. And thank you for your answer of Charlie. Got you down here, and good luck with that. We'll announce it here in just a little bit. We'll clear with VOX and head up to Copley in TAD. Good evening, Dave. What say you?
Good evening, Gary, everybody on the net, anybody who might be listening. Let's see. I'll tell you, I have one of the best group of net control operators that I could possibly imagine. I got a bunch of cats that herd themselves. You guys could not make my life any easier, and I want to thank you for that and let you know how much it's appreciated. Let's see. Congratulations to Nick on tying his shoes. That is a great step forward. Don't get haughty. Don't think you can overstep yet. You know. Let's see. Cats do like moving water more than they like stagnant water. I guess instinctively they realize there can be less bacteria. So one of my cats always drinks out of the toilet after it is flushed. That's his thing. Let's see. I remember the Apollo. They spent a whole bunch of money creating a pen that was not gravity fed, and people make jokes about how much that cost. The concern was that if you break off some graphite off of a pencil and it floats inside of an electronic circuit or a computer or something, you might have a disaster on your hands. So sticking with that, and let me get a quick beep.
W8WKY.
Along with Mark's story about the light bulbs, which you do want to step away from because the inside of a fluorescent bulb contains phosphor powder, which is that white stuff, along with mercury and argon. None of that stuff you want to be breathing in. So combined with my thoughts about the pencil and Mark's story, I'm going to go with D Delta, the mercury thermometer. I think my mom would have picked that one too. So hope everybody has a great one. And by the way, the 16th, this Saturday at noon, me and the Outliers Band are going to be at the Orville Historical Society plant sale fundraiser at the Smith Orr Homestead. So maybe I'll see some of y'all there in Orville on Saturday. Back to Net Control, W8WKY, NTAD.
NTAD, W8WKY. All right, Dave, I got you down for Delta, and yeah, I forgot to comment on Nick's shoe tying. I wondered if he needed to relearn how to tie his shoes. Inquiring minds want to know. Maybe he has an answer for that. And also, yeah, those pens, I don't know who originally created those pens, but I have one, and I love the thing. I mean, you can write upside down with it. The cartridges are pressurized, so the ink continues to flow until it's out. Great pen. They're not cheap, though. That's the only thing about that, but they're really quite nice. Okay, let's see. Real clear with NTAD. Oh, and by the way, Dave, thanks for the kind words there. I concur 100%. The net control group, and not just for the barometer net, but for the Tuesday night net, the beacon net, and the Monday net with boredom breaker net. There we go. I'm running out of bees. It's just a great group, and it's fun. The guys make it fun, and it's just a good time. And that's what ham radio is all about, right? Okay. Again, we'll clear with NTAD, and let's head across the street and down the road. Not very far. Maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 football fields. W2J. Good evening, John. How are you this evening?
W8WKY, hosted by Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra. This is W2JLS. Just as a crow flies, probably about as far as you could throw a wicked stone. Well, that would be a pretty good throw, though. Probably a slingshot or something, trebuchet or something like that. And things are good. I had my sister in town this weekend, and her birthday present delivered late because that was what the schedule called for, was the Duran Duran concert at Blossom. So she came in from New York, and we did that, and holy cow, that was spectacular. If anyone out there is a fan that wasn't there, I feel bad for you. That was, I mean, these guys are in their at least mid-60s, and they're killing it still. And they had a huge repertoire to draw from, and just so much fun. Great show, and killer seats. So that was fun. Trivia question. I'm not sure if every choice has been used, Gary. I was thinking microwave before you read the choices, but I'm not sure I heard all of the choices. So I guess I'll go with microwave as my wild stab, because that was, I guess when you said common household device, that was the one that came to mind. Anyway, back to you, sir. Thanks for having me in there.
All right, John, if you want to come back and change your answer after I reread the question after the next round, by all means do so. But for right now, I have you down for Charlie. Microwave ovens. Okay, so we're at the bottom of my list. Let me reiterate that this is the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net. My name is Gary. My call is Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra, and we are doing business tonight as W8WKY. If you'd like to join us, if you'd like to join this motley crew, as I like to say, give me a call. This is W8WKY standing by for additional check-ins.
AHCS, this is WV3K. I'm just checking in, and I have no traffic for this evening's net. Enjoy, God bless, and I'll work with you at a later time. Thank you, Gary. WV3K, and I'm going to be clear.
Here is N8PZD. I hope I'm making it.
All right. Yeah, you're making it, Clark. No problem whatsoever. WV3K, Phil, good evening. I have you in and out. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. We appreciate that. Also, N8PZD, Clark, as I said, I got you in there. Clark, do you need the question? Well, I'm going to go ahead and reread it anyway. It's short. Question tonight is, what common household device was originally created for NASA's Skylab space station? Your choices are alpha, LED bulbs, beta, smoke detectors, Charlie, microwave ovens, or delta, mercury-free thermometers. That's the question. Clark, what do you think? N8PZD, W8WKY.
Oh, wow. Well, I think I'm going to choose the radium-contained smoke detectors, just because that was NASA. So that's it. I'll just say good evening to everybody listening and all of the non-hams, what do we call them? Silent while listening. There's got to be at least one of those close to Cary. And there's no snow up here in Cleveland to report, so I hope everybody has a good evening, and hopefully I'll get up in time to be on the barometer net tomorrow. 73 for now. Thanks for taking my call. Back to net. Nobody ate purple zucchini downtown.
All right, I had to stop laughing first. Purple zucchini. All right, here we go. Before I give the answer to the trivia question, KC8HDP, Jerry, for some reason, I misplaced your answer. Can you come back and tell me what your answer was? And John, stand by. I'm going to ask you if you want to change your answer as well.
Good evening once again, Gary. My trivia question answer was Bravo. Bravo. KC8HDP, back to net, W8WKY.
All right, Jerry, thank you for that. Appreciate that. And again, excuse my ineptitude. Let's see. Clark was B as well. W2JLS, John, you have a change of heart.
W2JLS returning, and I neglected to say good evening on your ears, so I'll say that to everybody. Have a good evening on your ears. And Gary, I'll just stick with my guess. All those choices are really interesting, and it's funny how I don't know how far back any of those really go. Yeah, I'll stick with what was going through my head as you read the question before you read the choices. Anyway, back to you, sir.
W8WKY.
All right. We have all the answers in. I'm going to, if you'd still like to check in, or if there's any rechecks out there, stand by. We'll get right back to you here. But for right now, the question was, what common household device was originally created for NASA's Skylab space station? And there were 3 correct answers, and the correct answer was Bravo, smoke detectors. In millions of homes around the world, there are simple and inexpensive smoke detectors that use a radioactive isotope to detect smoke's extremely fine particulate in the air and sound a life-saving alarm. This cheap and readily available smoke detector design was invented in the 1970s by Honeywell Corporation at the behest of none other than NASA. The space agency wanted small and long-lived devices that would detect smoke and toxic gases aboard the Skylab space station, a place where early detection of smoke, fire, or overall deterioration of air quality was absolutely critical. By the end of the 1970s, the project yielded another innovation in smoke detection, the photoelectric smoke detector, which detects smoke particulate with a light sensor. Later, companies would combine the two detection types to create a more efficient smoke detector, since the two methods were discovered to be more sensitive to different kinds of smoke and fire. According to the National Fire Protection Association, combination smoke detectors are the most effective since photoelectric sensors excel at detecting fires that begin with slow, smoldering flames, and ionization sensors excel at detecting fires where there isn't a lot of smoke immediately visible, as the ionization sensor detects other chemical byproducts of the combustion process. And there you have it. Smoke detectors is the answer. And let's see, W03X was the first. Jerry, KCHDP, and and Mark. No, I'm sorry. Clark also got the answer correct. So we certainly appreciate everybody's participation. And this is just fun kind of stuff that we like to do. Just something to keep us busy and out of trouble and off the streets, that's for sure. Okay, there you have it. Let's throw it open to anybody who would like to come back. If there's any rechecks, any comments, or if there's anybody else out there that would like to join us, please give me a call. This is W8 WKY standing by.
Whiskey 8 Echo Lima Mike Mobile.
KC8 Fox Queen Victor, recheck with a comment.
Okay, we have W8ELM. Eric, thanks for being here. And I have a comment coming from Mark, so stand by, Mark. We'll get right to you. W8E, you are check-in number 31, by the way. Appreciate you stopping by, Eric. How was the duty on the tower tonight?
Well, thank you very much, Gary, and thanks for taking care of trivia tonight. I was going to invoke Shorter's postulate, so it's a good thing I didn't, I guess. Anyway, things were very uneventful in the tower, which is what we like to see. So just headed home now. I had my sausage sandwich on the way out. So I'll say good evening to everybody, and thanks again, Gary, for running the net. W8WKY from W8ELM Mobile.
All right, Eric, thank you for being there, and thanks for stopping by on your way home. And thanks for doing the duty tonight. That's fabulous. And appreciate your radio activity. Yeah, that's for sure. Eric, always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure. Thanks for being here. We'll clear with W8ELM, and let's see what Mark has for us. KC8FQV with a comment. This is W8WKY.
All right, Gary, KCFQV, I'm going to just make a comment about smoke detectors. When I worked at the school, and they did the renovations, big places, big locations, they use a smoke detector beam. So they send a beam out on one side of the room, like in a gymnasium, and there's a receiver on the other side. So it can cover the whole gym. And I think also we had heat detectors in there. That system was a sort of a it wasn't complicated, but it just, because we had sprinklers in the building. But in the gym, it was a dry system because you had balls, that could hit the heads. So what happened is if you hit a head, you didn't have any water come out until such things occurred like the smoke detector had to detect smoke, the heat detectors had to detect heat. If one of them did it, then the sprinkler heads, there was a heat sensor, a chemical in the pin that held the valve closed. So they got warm, then the water came. But there was no water in the gym. It was all pipe and had air. So it was a pre-act system, and three things had to occur. So if a ball hit one of them heads, it would pre-act it, but if you didn't have heat or smoke, it didn't go off. So, but that system was always a trying system. You know, sort of watch it and see what it was doing. But yeah, a ball hit, well, you had no heat. You know, well, it wouldn't dump water until the smoke detectors went and the heat detectors got warm. So that was only in the gym. Of course, outside they use, like at Home Depot and that, either they use air, and if they get fire under one of the heads, and then it will release the air out of the air pressure out of the system, and then the water would come after you get some heat or wet smoke out there. So we'll send it back to net, KCFQB.
All right, Mark, thank you for that. Appreciate you stopping by, Mark, and thanks for the comments. We appreciate it. All right, before we close, let me just reiterate, save the date, September 19th. That's Tuesday evening at 6 p.m., an evening with Scott Yonley, N8SY. We're going to have a live interactive webcast. Mark your calendars. The details with the link and all that stuff will be forthcoming, but mark your calendar and please spread the word. That is September 19th at 6 p.m. ET. That information is also on our website, along with a link to Scott's flyer, his campaign flyer. Many of you probably got that in the mail, and also the campaign site, which is really pretty cool. Anyway, that's that. Also, today's the last day that you can sign up for the Sarah Family Picnic. Okay? So, again, head to the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association website, w8wky.org. Sign up for the picnic. We would appreciate your pre-registration so we know how much food to get. All that starts the snowball going down the hill tomorrow. So please, if you plan on coming, go to the webpage and register if you would. Remember, it's free. We just ask that you bring a dish to share. That's it. Okay, also, Route 66 on the air. It's not too late to participate in the premier special event of the year. It ends September 9th at 2359 Zulu. I'm sorry, it started on September 9th. It ends at 2359 Zulu on September 17th. So there's plenty of time to get out there and get your kicks on Route 66.
W8WKY.
All right, that's all I have. I do want to thank everyone who participated in tonight's net, because it is your participation that makes this net alive and well, and we certainly appreciate everyone, including the listeners. Let's not leave them out. Until next Tuesday, when, as I said, Fred, WA8KOC, will be turning the dials. 73, and good evening. We return this repeater back to normal amateur radio use. This is AA8CS doing business as W8WKY, and I'll be clear. 73, everybody, and have a fabulous rest of the evening.
Any priority or emergency traffic, please break in at any time.
Emergency traffic, did I hear that correctly? Go. I guess not. Yeah, we shouldn't mess around with emergency traffic. If it's emergency traffic, let's make sure it's an emergency. Anyway, thank you all. This is Allstar
AA8CS W8ELM.
W8ELM AA8CS. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm wondering if that wasn't another repeater announcing that emergency traffic could break in, and it came in on the tail of our repeater. Just a guess.
You know, I was setting my headphones down and I was in transit, so to speak, so I didn't quite, I heard emergency traffic. I didn't hear much else, but hopefully that's what it was. I mean, I wouldn't think anybody would be messing around with that, that's for sure. So thank you for that. Makes me feel a little better there, Eric. Also, what'd you think of the question tonight?
Question was excellent. I didn't hear it until about the second time around, but like I said, I was ready to choose C, but I think I might have, I knew it wasn't the microwave, but and I knew it wasn't the mercury thermometer, so I had a pretty good chance, I guess, of coming up with the smoke detector, and I'm sure that was that development was helped along by the fire in the Apollo capsule